What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Mallow here. I'm here to bring another review of My Hero Academia, or should I say, My Villain Academia. There's a lot to talk about in this chapter, and there's a lot I want to talk to about in this chapter, and there's something else I want to talk about, which involves Attack on Titan's latest chapter. So, if you're here from Attack on Titan, I'll leave a little notification in the video on where to skip to. But if you're here for the review, let's get right into it. So we start the chapter off with Destro quoting something from a book or a children's book. Don't judge people by their quirks. From the Shueisha children's book, Together Without Quirks. It's kind of funny that he picked up a famous quote from a book. That's like Joker picking up a quote from Dr. Seuss or something, which would make sense. But that's off topic. That's off topic. So Reed Destro, he's still monologuing to Shigaraki about never judge people by their quirks but by their personalities, because someone can have a really horrible quirk or superpower, but they have a really great personality. It kind of low key it kind of reminds me of like comic books and stuff. I don't remember where, but I remember somebody else talking about the same type of personality. It was something else. It's talking about like the quirks, the superpowers you get. It doesn't change who you are. It just changes who you are, who you already are. So let's say you're like really good and you get a superpower. You're gonna still be good. You're just gonna be 10 times more good. You're gonna be more better. But if you're like really bad or really evil, it doesn't really change anything. You're already bad. Having a superpower just gives you the ability to be more evil, to reach that new level of evil, of bad, which is evil. He's still holding Shigaraki hostage because he already broke his hands. And he's going into explanation about his quirk, about Shigaraki's quirk, saying he can only decay people if he touches them with all 5 fingers. And he asks him about what he is as a person. And he regrets not asking him before what the responsibilities he carries, and what is he trying to create. So he goes into his own assumption that he's trying to create nothing. He'll create nothing. And he's picked, and he only lusts for destruction. He has only a lust for destruction. And then we see a hand, which turns out to be Hannah's hand, which was his sister's. And then we get to see more of Shigaraki's flashbacks in his childhood, which, in my opinion, I think Shigaraki's backstory, the more we see into it, the sadder it gets, because I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll talk about that later. We see a flashback of all of the hands that he has. His mom, his grandmom, his grandfather, his dad's, and his sisters. And then we see All For One. At least that looks like All For One for me. He's talking about having all those hands. Hearts are quite durable. Negative emotions such as anger and fear are all healed with time. You must always hold your family close so that those emotions never fade. I just gotta say, man, if All For One really did make him kill his parents, his family, his childhood, that dude is real fucked up. He's the epitome of evil, which makes sense because he's like the godfather of all quirks. He's like the first person with a quirk, and his brother's like the second person with a quirk. We finally get to see his sister, Hannah, and she asks him, "Did you get scolded again?" You should probably just stay quiet about it. I just tell Dad I want to be a bride when I grow up. Come on, let's go. And I kind of feel like Shigaraki's, he's having like a near-death crisis right now. Like, your life flashes before your eyes, or maybe he's just getting beat so hard that he's starting to remember things that he has buried inside of him for so long. Ever since it was a kid, it traumatized him so bad that he just had to, just forget it all away. It kind of reminds me of Dean from Supernatural. Shout out to Supernatural fans. When Cass in Purgatory, like, what Cass did was so bad that Dean just had to erase his memory of what really happened. Like, he thought he abandoned Cass, but in actuality, Cass abandoned him. I mean, Cass let him go. He wanted to stay in Purgatory. But I'm getting sidetracked. He starts to talk about it, remembering his sister. Whenever he would cry, she'd always take his hand. And she was the only one, even though they were just the words of an innocent child. He really believed them. And then, he sees his brain starts spinning and going crazy. All of his memories are starting to boil up because it's all flashing. It's all coming to his head. It's just like Light in Death Note when he get his memories back from the Death Note. All of his memories just start flashing before his head, like right off the bat. No breaks or nothing, just anyway. And through Destro, he starts saying that he's no match for him. Shigaraki's no match for him. And we see more mind monologue from Shigaraki. He's talking about this unidentifiable feeling of irritation is sinking into my heart. All of my missing memories are fitting together. My emotions and my experiences with them. And then out of nowhere, Shigaraki's hand starts to make Ridestro's hand crumble. And he just throws him away. He's like, it's cracking. Nani, it's cracking. His decay shouldn't activate. His decay shouldn't activate unless he's touching something with all 5 of his fingers. Were we given false information? Or could it be? It did. We see a dope panel of Shigaraki going pure psycho mode. Or should I say sicko mode. And Shigaraki's like, my head, it's splitting apart. It's mom. And then we finally see his mom. Not sure if it looks like Nana, but I'm not really sure. It could just be his stepmother, because I don't think he remembers his real mom. I don't think he was old enough for that to happen yet. It's gotten worse around your eyes. Where's the medicine? If you scratch it, that will only make it itchy again. There have certainly been cases, and then we see Ridestro talking about there being cases of which a superpower rapidly grows from some inadvertent trigger. For example, Apocrypha became able to alter the temperature of her ice. That was a result of him accidentally burning himself. And right now, Shigaraki is on the brink of awakening. And, it kind of reminds you, like back in the previous chapters when Toga was fighting a girl. When she activated her quirk, she awakened her quirk. Because at first, her quirk was to just take the transformation of the person, disguise himself as that person. But now, she can use that person's quirk, which could be very, very deadly in the future. Regarding to Deku and Uraraka, I mean, she used Uraraka's quirk already, but it could be dangerous to whoever else she has the blood of. But I don't think Toga can use it though. Use All For One, because if the rogue dude, if he couldn't use the quirk, then damn sure she can't use it unless hers is better than his. But and then all of a sudden Shigaraki taps into the Speed Force, and he goes like, and he's fast, and he's minimized his unnecessary movements. He's agile as a cat. With physical abilities of this caliber, he should have been able to touch a hero or two at Kamino. First his superpower, now this. Has he been training these movements? He never would have been able to master them without brushing shoulders with death in a brutal environment every single day. Which we know he has, because Because if Shigaraki really was that fast at Kamino Ward, none of them would have gotten away. All Might and them, they would not have grabbed. They would not have grabbed Bakugo and them. They probably wouldn't have even got the jump on them. Maybe for like a quick second, but not a lot. Because if he was this fast back in Kamino Ward, this shit wouldn't have went down as it did in anime and the manga. It would. All them niggas would have got caught lacking. The only one that probably would have been able to handle himself was Gran Torino and All Might. Those were like the only two probably. But and he's talking about him. He must have been fighting for his life every single day, which he has. He's been fighting the Gigantomachia, whatever that nigga name is, the gigantic dude. I say that every time in all my reviews recaps. I say Gigantor. It's just, I don't really be caring about that nigga name. It's Gigantomachia, Gigantor, whatever. The nigga, he's a giant. He's a giant with super strength that's been beating the shit out of Shigaraki and everybody else for like 20 something chapters. For like almost over a month now. So that should be enough for summary. And Redestro is like, but luckily for Redestro, he's already honed his stress as well. And that's why he can tell. It seems he was too quick to judge Shigaraki, to say that he was beneath him. And since he hasn't disappeared, despite taking so much damage, you must be the regular Shigaraki. You must be the original Shigaraki, correct? And Redestro's liberation goes at 80%. His move is called 80% Overload Cluster Stress Output Overload Cluster. Let us put an end to this festival. They right before they clash, or they do clash, Shigaraki gets sent flying, and we see another flashback of Shigaraki's grandfather and grandmother, or grandpa and grandma. They're all being so nice to him, bruh. I swear, man. I think this man has a very his backstory has to be really fucked up. It really has to, because he is surrounded by love. He really is. His grandparents loved him. His sister loved him. His mother loved him. Well, stepmother and stepfather, it seemed like they all loved him too. And man, I swear, all for one, bro. This dude, I just want his backstory fully revealed to decide if I want to be pissed off at him or not for what he might have done to Shigaraki. But hey, we probably could get a twist. Maybe he didn't like all of that, because he says his grandparents were so kind and so caring all the time. But that's not it. I remember now. I remember everything. Back then, what I really wanted to say. Now, he could say maybe he hated all of that. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he loved it. Maybe he hated it. Maybe he wanted to. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he killed him on purpose. No, that really wouldn't make sense, because why the hell was he crying? But he could be faking that. He could have faked that cry. But anyway, I know I'm probably bullshitting with this with the theory, but he could have loved it or he could have hated it. But back to this chapter. Redestro, after sending him flying, he gets a phone call from Skeptic. And Skeptic's like, Redestro, please be careful. It's heading straight for you. They had an absolute monster lying in wait for us. Redestro! Those assholes, they were hiding this the whole time. And then we see Gigantomachia, who finally arrives. The end draws near. Next issue, we celebrate 5 years of serialization with a color page. Man, it's really been 5 years of My Hero Academia. That's crazy. The manga's really been out that long? That's crazy. Considering I've only been reading it for like almost a couple of months. I started reading it like when season 3 came out. Like, I wanted to reread it and see like the comparisons and stuff. But then like once Like I say this all the time. If it wasn't for the Hunter's license, not the Hunters, wrong anime. If it wasn't for the Hero's License arc, I probably would have never skipped ahead of the manga, with the anime, because like I got to where Gang Orca showed up, and it really pissed me off with that episode because it dropped a freaking banger of a cliffhanger. Like they're giving them the experience of what it's like to have a villain pull up on them. So I'm like, oh shit, next episode finna be hyped. But then these niggas go on hiatus, and freaking the next episode is a filler / canon episode, because it ties up to the movie, the My Hero movie, which is phenomenal, by the way. If you haven't watched that, you should go see it or watch it, because it's already out on Blu-ray and DVD. Actually, you can find it on Pornhub if you look really good, because I I have it on there. But yeah, like after that, I was like, oh man, fuck these niggas, bro. They done pissed me off with that. I'm about to just read ahead of the manga, read ahead of the anime, and you know, I haven't regretted. I'm just glad I read it before the Deku versus Muscular fight, because that's literally one of my favorite moments. That's literally one of my favorite moments that I've read, but not even read, that I watched. Like I remember that Saturday morning of watching that shit, bruh. Like it was so fucking hype when Deku said "one for all, 1,000,000% Detroit Smash," bruh. I fucking lost my mind, bruh. I was screaming. I was like, y'all see it. I was literally screaming. I was that hype, bro. I was just so fucking hype, bro. It was so crazy. It was like one of the best moments. To be honest, it was up there with towards hype. It was up there with All Might versus Nomu. That's still one of my favorite moments from My Hero. All Might versus Nomu. Anime wise, that is. Manga wise, there's plenty of other moments that I love that are up there with that. But yeah, you know, I've only been reading the manga for like a couple months, and people have been with this shit for 5 years. So salute to y'all for that. And then we see a panel of Shigaraki's eyes. His eyes, I don't know, man. They look sad. They look depressed. It looks like he's having flashbacks of what he went through as a kid. I mean, he probably only knows what happened with his family. He probably just knows that, and you know, All for One rescuing him. He probably only knows that. That's probably all he knows. So, you know, that's probably why he's so depressed, because all his memories and feelings, they're all coming back to him. He probably suppressed them for so long, or maybe All for One or someone else wiped it from his mind, so he wouldn't be relying on that or remembering that. You know, because you know, certain feelings gives power. Fear, anger, hate, love, all of that. Just like Yoda said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Or should I say, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. That is the path of the dark side. But yeah, man. This chapter was freaking crazy though, bro. Like I loved it. I loved it, and I can't wait for the next one, because I literally said it like the last review that Gigantor was gonna be pulling up on Redestro, and they gonna fight, which was so predictable. I mean, it's not like Shigaraki was gonna get the dub on him, or maybe he might. You never know. Somebody gonna get the dub on him. Gigantor is probably just gonna be like wear him down a little bit. But hey man, Redestro might one shot that nigga. You never know. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say for this review, for this chapter, man. I loved it, and it's a 10 out of 10, man. This dude just be dropping bangers, bro. You be dropping bangers after bangers after bangers with these chapters, man. This My Villain Academia is slapping like a motherfucker. Like this, I can't wait for this to be animated. It probably won't be animated this season. It'll probably be animated in season 5, because season 4, I think they're probably gonna go from the overhaul arc all the way to the to probably the festival. I think that's where they're probably gonna end the season, with a happy note for Erie, which I hope they do, because like before I read that arc, bro, the most exciting part for me was to see Deku versus Overhaul at 100% one for all full cow. Like, that's the one moment I want to see animated. And then once the festival happened with the rock band moment, that I like, bro, nah, fuck that, bro. I want to see that animated. Cause it's literally like one of the best moments ever. It's just seeing seeing that little girl smile. It's like one of the most precious things ever. She has one of the most precious smiles ever. Anyway, I'm going off topic. What I want to talk about now is Attack on Titan. These motherfuckers, man. Bruh, I can't even I can't even think about it, bruh. I'm like so pissed with that. Like, I'm not even pissed about the death. I'm not even pissed about that. I'm pissed about who shot the nigga. Who shot him. Like, Gabby. I fucking hate that bitch. I fucking hate her. Like, I don't carry a lot of hate in my heart for like a lot of people, person, places, or things, fictional or non-fiction. I don't carry a lot of hate in my heart. But this little brat, this little girl, she pisses me off every time I see her. Like how Naruto fans feel about Sakura and Sakura being useless, and you know, other animes with other characters that people hate with a passion. Like, this is that one character. This is the character right here that I hate with a passion. Like, this little bitch, she kills Sasha, which she should be dead right now because of that. I don't care what her backstory is. I don't care how they try to redeem her. I don't care what they do with her. She has to die. I don't care what they do. Just kill her, please. I don't care that she's a child. I do not care about that. Kill that little girl right now. She is tainting your history. She is tainting the franchise. She is destroying it one bullet at a time. I mean, I know killing Sasha isn't a game changer for the story or nothing, but for fans, like, killing Sasha, that was like, to me, the equivalent of Walking Dead killing Carl on the TV show. Like, that's the equalization of that. Is that even a word? Equalization? But anyway, that's the equivalent of that. Like, I don't even care about Eren getting his head shot off. I like to be honest, he could have been got shot. I don't care how raw that nigga is. I don't care how raw time skip Eren is. He's still a little bitch. He's just a depressed one now. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it facts. He's just a depressed one now. You know what I mean? He's just depressed now. He's still a bitch. He's just depressed now. He's just depressed and guy has a motive. That's it. But yeah, anybody else could have done it. Levi could have did it. Mikasa could have did it. Connie, anybody, even the author and the mangaka himself. Hell, even Madara, somebody else. Metal Bat, anybody could have done it except her. Like we're gonna call her Gabby, the franchise killer. Like, she killed Sasha. She might have killed Eren, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it if she did. If she did kill him, fuck her. If she didn't do it, still fuck her. Just kill that little girl. Just kill Gabby, bro. I don't even care about her character development. Like to be honest, she's like a Kainu. A Kainu is raw. He's one of my favorite characters in One Piece. Even though he killed Ace, I hate Blackbeard a lot more than I hate Akainu. Akainu is just a man that follows his own convictions and believes in justice and is willing to go far to obtain that justice. All he sees is justice. He follows his own code, his own motive, and he believes what's right and what's wrong. And, you know, I have respect for him for completing his mission, killing Ace and killing Whitebeard. Well, he didn't really kill Whitebeard. He could have killed him, but Blackbeard's the one that did that. Which is, he's still a bitch, by the way. Fuck that nigga Blackbeard. I don't see how y'all niggas standing that nigga. But you know, if Akainu came up with a backstory that he had a tragic story or something, people wouldn't care. People really wouldn't care. It's just the same like Gabby. Whatever her story is, no one gives a fuck. Fuck that little bitch. She can die for all I care. And Lord forgive me for being so rootless to a fictional character. But I am sorry, I just do not like that little girl. She really pisses me off. But yeah, man. Anyway, I could talk about hating Gabby for hours, man. I really can. It's not even a joke. But I'm gonna end it right here. If you like what you saw, Detroit, smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and remember, go beyond Los Ultra.